Hello, my name is Sean Copeland, Chairman and CEO of Regent Bank. We want to welcome you to another edition of Regent Elevate, our weekly video series where we're trying to bring you information to elevate your life and your business. I want to remind you that you can go to our website, regent.bank, click on resources, and you'll have all the past Regent Elevates there if you are interested in looking at those. We're in the middle of a series on 7 signs of a successful leader. Last time we talked about how successful leaders value their company over their career. This is based upon a very extensive research project done by Gallup, and they basically looked at the best companies of the last 100 years, best public companies, and found that each leader, each CEO had these 7 things in common. That was number 1. Number 2, which we're going to talk about today, is successful leaders want to be effective instead of popular. Now, we've all had bosses that are jerks, that are, that scream and yell and throw things and lose their temper. That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about a leader who is respectful and kind, but always very, very honest. Some leaders want to avoid confrontation. They don't want to present the bad news or the negative feedback because they want their employees and the people around them to like them. And this is very difficult. I struggle with this because I want my employees to like me as well. However, it's imperative that we are honest and objective in the feedback and coaching that we give. A banker friend of mine from Kentucky says that she tells her employees that they will never have to work next to a low performer, ever. And so her goal is to have an organization full of complete honesty. We say that it's calling it tight here at the bank. We have to be honest all the way from the top to the bottom. Again, you do this in love. You don't do this to embarrass anybody, and you don't do this to try to make them look bad in public. You typically critique in private, but you always want to be honest. The last thing I would say along these lines is I think it's very important as a leader to realize that we should never, ever fire someone by surprise. If you have an employee that has performance issues and has challenges and you don't have the guts to go talk to them about that, you shouldn't be a leader. You shouldn't be in that position if you don't, a lot of times, will say, well, I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want to demoralize them. Well, there's not a whole lot of things that are more demoralizing than getting fired and you didn't even know that there was a performance issue. And this happens all the time in corporate America. So our number 2 key to being a successful leader per the Gallup organization is you need to want to be effective, not just popular. The next week we're going to talk about how successful leaders are not paralyzed by perfection, how they make quick decisions and have the ability to move forward. So thanks so much for joining us this week. We'll talk to you next week.